All right, give me a second. Give me a second. Hey, real quick, this beat is called Jazz Hop Summer. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. All right, here we go, man. So I'm about to share with you guys this video. Let me tell you men something. Okay, and women, for those of you who are in the shadows, a fly on the wall, you too. But this is for you men. www.manhoodisaskillset.com, the return of manhood. Your boy Zag here. Look, gentlemen, it is imperative that you stop explaining yourself to women. Stop. If a woman is confused and she needs a little clarity, by all means, provide her some clarity. Me personally, that's my mantra. I don't explain myself to nobody. What I do and will do is provide some clarity to the confused. Believe that. But I don't explain myself to anybody. Let me explain something to you guys. Okay, this is some real shit. Do you know that the reason why the majority of people, both men and women, feel the need to explain themselves to people? I'm gonna tell you why. Let's delve into the human psyche. The reason why people feel the need to explain themselves to people is because they care. They care what people think about them. They care about their perception and other people's eyes. So a lot of times when people have a philosophy or an ideology that they feel or fear might be a little off-putting to people, what they do is they explain themselves so their philosophy or their ideology or the way that they view shit will be accepted, right? They want to lessen the ridicule, the judgment of other people. So they try and explain why they believe the things that they believe in hopes that other people won't ridicule them or be judgmental or drag them through the mud or rake them over the coals. So they explain themselves so they won't look like the bad guy. That's weak shit. You don't explain yourself to anybody. Whatever your beliefs are, you state your beliefs if you need to, and you stand on that shit unapologetically. You stand on that shit. I don't give a fuck if the world is against you. I don't care if you are at a family reunion and there's a fucking 50 to 100 people there, and you're the only one that believes the shit that you believe in, and everybody talking shit about you. Fuck y'all. This is my belief. If you don't like it, fuck you. This is exactly how you should look at people. Now, I'm not saying you should go telling your family members, fuck you. I mean, I'm not saying you should do that. But what I'm saying is that should be your attitude. This is what I believe in. If you're confused about something, I'll provide some clarity to you. But one thing I'm not going to do is try or attempt to explain myself so my philosophy or my ideology sits well with you. You can kind of halfway accept it because I explained it to you where it's acceptable to you. Fuck you. Straight up and down. Now, before I get into this, let me say this. For you men out there, I don't care what men do. I do have a problem with men who complain. Well, whatever you decide to do, If you have a certain belief and you go out there and you live your life based on that belief, then you complain about the results, I got something to say to you, right? Right? If you whine about how people are treating you or how you're perceived based on your beliefs, I got something to say to you, because you shouldn't be whining and complaining. You should literally be shrugging your shoulders. Hey, man, they got a problem with it. Oh, well. Oh, well. People's perception of you is not your problem. That's their problem to deal with. How you're perceived is their problem, not yours. Now, again, what it boils down to, are you comfortable in your own skin? Are you a self-assured man? Right? Do you have something you're willing to die for, live for, and kill for? Do you have something that you're willing to die for, live for, and even kill for? I do. Do you? Let's get into this, man.
Ever dated a woman with children?
I have, but I was young. I was like 22. I had a cougar. She had some younger kids. How old is your son?
He's 11.
He's 11. And from my experience, I told myself I couldn't take a woman with children seriously.
Why?
The child's always gonna come first.
Yes.
Y'all see that shit? Now, some women might see this. Well, I'm just curious, so I'm asking why. No. Her body language, her response to what he said, she felt some type of way. She was triggered. See, we got to be careful, gentlemen. There is one thing, it's one thing rather, for a woman to be genuinely curious about something, right? Genuinely curious about something, because the way that you present it is something she's never heard before. But she's not triggered by it. She's not offended by it. She's not bothered by it. She's just genuinely curious. But when a woman is triggered by your stance, she's triggered by your philosophy, she's triggered by your ideology, you don't got to explain why you view things as the way that you do. Just let her know this is the way I view things. It is what it is. Now, if you're confused, I'll provide some clarity, but I'm not going to try to explain myself so that way you won't feel some type of way about why I see things the way that I do already. Now, one of the mistakes he's making is he's trying to tell her the story, right, about why he doesn't date single mothers seriously. Now, let me say this for all you single mothers out there. I don't have no problem with single women with kids. I don't have no problem with that, right? I don't have no problem with men who want to date or even marry single mothers with children. Conversely, I have no issue with guys that say, I'll casually date single mothers, but I wouldn't date them seriously. I don't have no problem with that either. Now, when guys start explaining themselves as to why they will not date a single mother, and then I start to hear why they believe in the things that they believe in, then I can tell. What I can tell is it a standard of yours to have that position, or do you have a preference based on what you heard other people say? Meaning that your preferences, your dating preferences, aren't your own. You've heard other people say unflattering things. And because of that, you say, oh, this person said that, this person said this, so I'm going to adopt their philosophy as my own. When you do that, I have to question whether or not you are a man or not. I have to question. Again, it's not about you having that philosophy or that ideology. It's why do you have it? And then when you explain yourself, shout out to the homie Miles Cunningham, your language or your comments, they expose you. Do you have a firm conviction in that position? Peep game.
Child's gonna always come first. I'm going to always need to put you first, but I come second. And technically, he's a 10-year-old boy who's going to get into...
That's a cop-out, okay? Again, what are we doing? We're going to delve into the human psyche. What is he trying to do? He's trying not to be the villain. Y'all get that? He's trying not to be the villain. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. He's explaining himself so the woman won't look at him as the bad guy. Why? Because he's concerned about how he's perceived. He's concerned with the perception of him as a man, which is why he's explaining himself so he can kind of clean it up a little bit. He wants to clean it up because he's being challenged. He's being challenged by this woman. So now he's trying to basically clean it up a little bit so it doesn't sound as bad. He doesn't want to be the villain. He wants to be looked at as the good guy, right? That's his problem right there. He's concerned with how he's perceived by people instead of being authentically, unapologetically him and letting the chips fall where they may. He's concerned with what this woman thinks. Now, let me just say this. One of the dumbest arguments I've heard guys say, oh, the reason why I wouldn't date a single mother is because the child will always come first. Let me explain something to you goofy niggas, right? For those of you who are fathers, right? Some of you may have noticed, especially if the mother of that child, specifically if y'all still are with that woman, you're married to her, cohabitate, whatever the case may be, whether you are in a relationship or marriage with a woman and the child or children in the house are biologically both of yours, in many cases, a loving, doting mother will still think that child come before you, even if that child is both of you guys. So that's a dumbass argument. See, again, when you explain yourself, you wind up just kind of making excuses, okay, instead of just basically standing on your shit and saying, this is how I feel, fuck it. Whether you like it or not, this is how I feel. This is why you don't explain yourself to people. State your position, and if they're going to be salty about it, let them be fucking salty about it. Let's go.
His teenage years, he's going to be in a situation where you're not my dad, right? I'm not talking about an anecdotal experience. Your son may be a sweet child, but my experience, it just hasn't been the best.
You have the right to feel however you want about dating a single mom. That's your prerogative, whatever. But you're on a date with a single mom. What are you talking about? Your priority here is supposed to be trying to get a third date. I don't even know why I'm on a second date with you.
Wrong. Women, let me have a heart-to-heart conversation with you because you might not be aware of this. You've been led astray. You've been lied to. A man's priority is not trying to win you over. A man's priority is not trying to win your affection. A man's priority is not trying to get and stay in your good graces. A man's priority on a date isn't to make sure he gets another date. A man's priority on a date is to see if you are a good fit for his situation. He already made it clear that dating a single mother seriously is not good for his situation. She should not be offended. She really shouldn't. Now, if anything, what she should say is, to him or to herself, his explanation is weak. Because if you are going to explain yourself, at least come with a strong explanation, not a weak-ass one, right? Now, he said you're on a date with a single mother, right? First and foremost, just because a man is out on a date with you, ladies, that doesn't mean he plans on dating you seriously. He could be on a date with you simply because he wants to date you casually. He might want to establish a sexual relationship with you, but before he does that, he wants to make sure you straight up here. You ain't crazy. Okay, you guys vibe, right? Okay, you are a pleasant individual to be around before he puts his joint in you, right? Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Now, gentlemen, this is what I would tell you though. You need to be frank. You need to be very honest, very candid, very transparent with these women as far as what it is you're trying to do with them. Period. Be upfront. Be very intentional in your approach. Let them know what it is with you and give them the free will to make a decision whether or not what it is you want to do is something they can see themselves partaking in. Let's get it.
With you in this moment.
Realistically, yeah, we can have some fun.
But taking it serious.
It's like taking it seriously is just hard because I don't have to.
Okay, so he gave a very passive, indirect response to what she's saying. Well, realistically, we can have some fun. No. And then you see he ain't even really looking at her. He kind of glanced at her and turned away. He can't even look at her in the face like a motherfucking man. Look a woman dead in her eyes. Look, let me tell y'all something. Look a woman dead in her motherfucking face and tell her what it is. Just tell her what it is. Don't concern yourself with how she views you. Don't concern yourself with whether or not she's going to be offended, upset, perturbed, irritated, flustered, frustrated, or whatever it is she might be feeling. That's not your job to kind of, I don't know, keep her from feeling a certain type of way. No, state your business, and however she feels is however she feels. That's not your concern. The only thing you need be worried about is making sure she knows the truth about what it is you're trying to do. That's it. That's all you got to do. Now, he should have manned up and said, realistically, look, I think you're attractive. The reason why I'm on this date, I'm very much interested in seeing where this goes as far as sexual chemistry. I'm sexually attracted to you. I believe you feeling me in that regard. So I'm very much interested in us getting together, having a one-on-one intimate conversation that could potentially lead to sex. And if we both thoroughly enjoy each other sexually, maybe we can establish a sexual relationship, AKA a fuck buddy relationship, where we can both mutually benefit from each other in that regard. That's all he got to do. Let's go.
I don't have to settle. I've done certain things in my life to put me at a certain echelon, to date a certain top tier. Not saying a woman with a child isn't top tier, but like standards wise, it's like I like to travel and be like, yo, let's go. Let's go to Miami, let's do this, let's do that. And it's like, let me call my mom and see if she can watch the kid.
He has a valid point. Right? He's a single dude. Talking about he put himself in the upper echelon. He's talking about status. So obviously he's successful, right? Financially, right? So he's basically saying, I'm the type of dude I can get up at any given moment and go travel somewhere. If I'm dating a woman seriously, or if I'm dating a woman, and I'm motivated to get to know her seriously, if she got a child, she can't just get up and bounce when I want to get up and bounce. So now I got to wait on her to find a babysitter. That's a very valid point. Now, I've heard single women who are also childless say the very same thing about men with kids. Man, I'm the type of chick, I'm a jet setter. I get up and I move. I want a man who can move with me. If he got kids, he can't just get up and bounce, right? You can't be mad at that. Okay, that's a fair reason. But again, although that might be the case, you don't got to explain that to women either. Just let them know what it is. You ain't got to explain nothing. Let's go, man.
It's just no real benefit in it for me.
Well,
Yes.
you didn't ask for another date with him. What was the turnoff?
Specifically, the turnoff was when I asked that
Yeah, make up something
question
right now.
about
You catch what he said? You catch what he said? She finna make up something right now. See, look at him. Look how he's sitting. He's defensive. She ain't even really said nothing yet, and he's already defensive. You might ask yourself, why is this man defensive? She about to make something already. Why? Because he's concerned with how he's about to be perceived. He doesn't want people to look at him as the villain or the bad guy, which is why he explained himself to her on the date. Now he's in front of all of these people and he's concerned, he's worried, right? He's not very self-assured, right, when it comes to how he's about to be perceived, which is why he's coming with that defensive shit. She's about to make up something already, right? I don't think she's a bad woman. I don't think she did anything wrong. My issue with him is I don't think he's a man about how he moves. I don't think he's a man. Now, he has every right to not date a single mother. His reasons are his reasons. I'm just saying, don't explain yourself. Just let women know what it is. There's a certain way you conduct yourself as a man. Not everything requires for you to explain yourself to people, right? And not only that, you need not be concerned with people's perception of you. Just do you. As long as you're doing you with honor, integrity, and dignity, and you ain't out here lying to these women, who gives a damn what they think about you? Let's go, man.
Would you date a single mother? And Jacoby, you proceeded to tell me that basically you're a high value man and you are too good for a single mother. However, you did also tell me that you were raised by a single mother, which is profound for me to think that a single mother's not good enough for you, but it's good enough for a woman to raise you. That's unfair. And it's very insensitive to women out there who have children.
Okay, so let's get rid of this. Okay, hold on, give me a second. Okay, here's the thing. She said it was insensitive. Women, so what? So what? You know, this day and age, people want to be coddled. They want their feelings to always be prioritized. No, that's not the way it works. Your feelings will not always be prioritized. That's not the way it works. I'm sorry. For you men too, your feelings will not always be prioritized. Hell, you might not always be prioritized. In fact, the majority of the time, your feelings, your penis, or anything that got to do with you niggas will not be prioritized by the majority of women you come into contact with. Women, I hate to say it, you're no different. Okay, nobody owes you that, right? She referred to him, I guess he called himself a high value man. Look, Kevin Samuels has done a number on you dudes. He really believes, because he achieved some level of financial success and status, that he's too good for shit. Okay, let me explain something to you guys. There is a clerk at Walmart right now who makes about $18 an hour who refuses to date single mothers too. There's a guy who is a manager at some fucking Starbucks somewhere. He's a childless man. He refuses to date single mothers too. Your fucking status, the level of your financial success or your education has nothing to do with having standards as a man. I don't know why guys think like this. Oh, if I'm a 9-to-5 wage earner, I shouldn't really have any standards. I should just accept what's given to me. But if I get to the upper echelon of success, then now I got these standards and I'm not just gonna settle. Nobody should settle. I don't care if you make $20,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $2 million a year. You can still be a man that has standards and principles. And there might be certain women you just won't deal with because you stand on those standards and principles. Don't be one of these so-called high-value suckers out here trying to stand on your success as to why you got these newfound standards. Come on, man. Gentlemen, stop explaining yourself to these women. You don't owe them an explanation. Again, if they are genuinely confused and you're just providing some clarity, right? So you can unconfuse them. So be it, but never explain your position. Like, I'll give you an example. If a woman is asking you, so what is your intentions with me? And you say, well, I'm not looking to date you seriously. I'm just looking for someone to have an enjoyable time with. In fact, I'm looking for someone to establish a sexual relationship with. And she says this to you. You're so self-centered. All you guys worry about is sex. Do you guys even give a damn about the women you're dealing with? You don't have to explain yourself and say, no, I'm not saying I don't care. You don't got to say nothing. You can be like, hey, look, I told you, you asked me what my intentions were. I laid them out for you. Either you with it or you not. Either you with it or you not. Don't be trying to debate your position with women. And it's not on some egotistical, sexist shit. It's like, I'm not going to debate my position with nobody, man or woman. But when you're dealing with these women, you don't know these women. You don't owe these women. Vice versa. They don't know you. They don't owe you. Same thing. A woman doesn't owe you an explanation for why she don't want to have sex with you or like, check this out. Real quick, let me end it with this. I gotta find the messages, but there were some messages that I pulled from, I think, Facebook, where this guy had went out on a date with this young lady. And I guess he had called her later that day after the date. He was talking about how he enjoyed himself. And he was like, so what you about to get into? She was like, I'm about to go out on another date. And he felt some type of way that she was about to go out on another date. So he's trying to say, oh, so you trying to go out and, on more than one date in 2 days? And she didn't explain herself to that motherfucker. Like, he's probably looking at him like, I don't owe you no explanation. You asked me a question, I gave you an honest answer. Let me speak on that for a moment. People say they want honesty. No, they don't. Okay, I've said this before. People don't really want honesty. They want a comfortable lie, believable enough to pass as the truth. And the reason why people don't really want honesty, because it fucks with whatever insecurities they have. It fucks with whatever low self-esteem issues they may have, right? Whatever view they may have of themselves, when you hit them with the truth, it fucks with that, okay? People really don't want the truth. They only want the truth when it directly benefits them. You give someone the truth and they don't benefit from that truth, they're going to feel some type of way. It is what it is, man. I'm out.